plants in that forest.
Okay. Anyone else? Dynamic living entity. Why a forest is called dynamic living entity?
Ma'am, because it has the animal kingdom.
What do you mean by dynamic, children? Tanya, what do you mean by dynamic? What do you mean by dynamo or dynamic?
Ma'am, dynamic is
The literal meaning, tell me in English. What does dynamic means? Which is moving. Which is moving. It's not at rest. It is not fixed. So what is happening? The plants are growing. They are giving rise to flowers, fruits. They are again being eaten up by some five herbivores. Herbivores are being eaten up by carnivores, and carnivores are eaten up by, when they are dead, they will be decomposed, and plants and animals, they will all, after death, they will get decomposed, and again the decomposers will release the nutrients into the soil. So this cycle goes on continuously. If any of the components stops, what will happen? The ecosystem will crush. So that is why it is called a dynamic entity, living entity. Am I clear?
yes,
Question may
ma'am.
come.
Yes,
Justify the
ma'am.
statement why forest is
Excuse me,
called.
ma'am.
Write down
Yes,
the
ma'am.
question that justify the statement for a, that in bracket write down the forest is a dynamic living entity. Now yes, Hassan, bolo. What is the problem,
Ma'am,
Hassan?
your voice is breaking.
Entity.
Entity means unit. Dynamic unit that contains many subunits also. Harsh,
Ma'am, your
I'm
voice
having
is cracking.
you are having a network issue. Harsh, I'm having full network over here. Okay. Okay, next. Shraddha,
Me,
you
ma'am.
can. Utkarsh, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Bolo Utkarsh. Yes.
Ma'am, may you please tell again the meaning of dynamic?
Dynamic means that is in motion, that is moving. So in the forest, each and every nutrients are getting cycle in a cyclical form. That is the soil में जो nutrients है, along with water, they are taken up by the plants. Plants are being eaten up by some animals like herbivores. Herbivores are being eaten up by animals like carnivores. There are tertiary consumers, and when all these plants and animals die, they are all getting decomposed into organic matters, that is humus, and again plants will take, though this cycle is going on like a dynamo, that is a motion, it's going on. That is why forest is called a dynamic entity. Now it's
Okay,
clear
ma'am.
to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, Utkarsh can start from the next paragraph.
Okay, ma'am. Bujo thought that it is if it
How far
is
you have read, Shraddha, how far you have read?
Ma'am, the first
Ma'am,
paragraph of page number
ma'am, yeah, ma'am,
215.
they found that the ground was still dry. Ma'am, you have to start from that.
okay, ma'am.
Start.
After about half an hour, the rain stopped. They noticed that the layer of dead leaves over the forest floor appeared wet now, but water did not stagnate in the forest.
Water
Bujo
did
thought that
not stagnate. What do you mean by the word stagnate?
Ma'am, it doesn't stop there.
It रुक नहीं जाता है वहां पे, जम नहीं जाता है. It doesn't get collected over there, because it will, what will happen, it will go and percolate through the soil.
Yes,
Humus,
ma'am.
it is having a high water holding capacity, we have read in soil chapter. So all that water is getting, they will just seep into, or infiltration. Harsh, why you are talking with others? If you used to attend the class, you can attend, you can leave, please, you can leave. So yes, so water will percolate into the soil. This humus is just allowing the water to go through. So water doesn't get retained at the base. जैसे कि बारिश होने के बाद हम लोग के यहाँ पानी जम जाता है. Why? Because the roads are concrete, the footpaths are also getting concrete. So only this way through which water
Yes,
can
ma'am.
run over here through the drainage system. If the drainage system is blocked due to the blockage of plastic accumulation, what will happen? Ultimately it will collect, but in the forest it doesn't happen. The water can having the capacity of percolation, infiltration. Okay, now continue, Utkarsh.
okay, ma'am. Bujo thought that if it is had rained so heavily in this town, it would have flooded the drains and roads. What would happen if it rains heavily in your town? Professor Ahmed told them that the forest also acts as a natural absorber of rainwater and allows it to seep. It helps to maintain water table throughout the year. Forests not only help in controlling floods but also help maintain the flow of water in the streams so that we get a steady supply of water. On the other hand, if trees are not present, rain hits the ground directly and may flood the area around it. Heavy rain may also damage the soil. Roots of trees normally bind the soil together, but in their absence the soil is washed away or eroded.
In their absence matlab when if there is no tree on the surface of the soil, they will get eroded and there will be soil erosion. Okay. And if again a land is exposed heavy due to heavy rain, the topsoil will be wiped away. That is called the soil erosion. So trees are very helpful over there also in case of forest. Okay, now continue, Utkarsh.
The children spent an hour at Tibu's village on their way back. The weather of the village was quite pleasant. Villagers told them that due to the surrounding forest they received good rainfall. The air also remained cool. Noise pollution too is less because the forest absorbs the noise of the nearby highway. The children learned about the history of the village. It surprised them that the villages and agriculture fields of that area were created after clearing the forest about 60 years ago. Tibu's grandfather told them that when he was young, the village was not as large as it was now. It was also surrounded by forests. Construction of roads, buildings, industrial development, and increasing demand of wood created pressure on the forest and it started vanishing. He was not happy that the forest adjoining their village is not regenerating and is on the verge of disappearing due to the overgrazing of animals and indiscriminate
Felling of trees. So
felling
felling
of
means
trees.
cutting down of the trees and in overgrazing because the cattle are just they are just let them to graze over there. So what will happen if the cattle every day they graze on the same field? The grass will not able to form new leaves. So what will happen? Ultimately, the land will be become a barren one. There will be no more grasses on that field. So what will happen actually? Actually, the soil will then underwent soil erosion bhi hoga. Then what will happen? The fertility of the soil will become less. So if instead of that place what will happen, the forest was there, that will be very beneficial. But due to our greed, due to increasing population, we are just indiscriminately cutting down those forest area. We are clearing them for setting up factories,
Factories,
different
yeah,
types of
and making
industries.
roads.
Yes, also
Ma'am,
sometimes for our settlements also. Yes, Utkarsh.
and ma'am for cultivation.
For our cultivation purpose also. Yes, you will see in the outskirts. So a forest area, I told you maybe earlier, there is a core. The central zone is called the core of the forest. Core ke charo taraf what is that? That is called the buffer zone. Now the people what are doing, they are just capturing this buffer zone and they are producing their settlements over there. They are allowing the cattle to graze over there. So gradually the forest area is decreasing day by day. Okay. So what will happen? Actually, the ecosystem, the balance between the gases will just get disbalanced. It
Yes,
will harm
ma'am.
the environment. So we should be very very careful. Yes, Utkarsh, now continue.
Okay, ma'am.